2. Slow motion not only presents familiar qualities of movement but reveals in them entirely unknown ones which, far from looking like retarded rapid movements, give the effect of singularly gliding, floating, supernatural motions. Evidently a different nature opens itself to the camera than opens to the naked eye,
these prose projects he is also preoccupied by others, dating back to very old ideas and ideas, whereas he was able, at a pinch, to say, for I am struck by a special vocabulary engendered by this aggressiveness. In particular, he is fond of using the term Weisgen, little sausage. In Drag 0 I was reading Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. To start with, he blamed this choice of reading for my being unwell. As confirmation, he told how, in his youth, a prolonged illness, which had doubtless been latent for a long time, had begun when a schoolfellow had played Chopin to him on the piano and he had not had the strength to protest. Brecht thinks that Chopin and Dostoevsky have a particularly adverse effect on people's health. In other ways, too, he missed no opportunity of needling me about my reading matter, and as he himself was reading Shriek at the time, he insisted on making comparative value judgments of the two authors. It became evident that Dostoevsky simply could not measure up to half Ivek, and Brecht included him without further ado among the Weisgen. Only a little more and he would have extended to Dostoevsky the description he keeps ready these days. For any work which lacks an enlightening character, or is denied such character by him, he calls such a work a clump, lump, or clot. 1938, the 28th of June. I was in a labyrinth of stairs. This labyrinth was not entirely roofed over. I climbed, other stairways led downwards. On a landing I realized that I had arrived at a summit. A wide view of many lands opened up before me. I saw other men standing on other peaks. One of these men was suddenly seized by dizziness and fell. The dizziness spread. Others were now falling from other peaks into the depths below. When I too became dizzy, I woke up. On the 22nd of June I arrived at Brecht's. Brecht speaks of the elegance and nonchalance of Virgil's and Dante's basic attitude, which, he says, forms the backdrop to Virgil's majestic gestus. He calls both Virgil and Dante promeneurs, emphasizing the classic rank of the Inferno. He says, you can read it out of doors. He speaks of his deep-rooted hatred of priests, a hatred he inherited from his grandmother. He hints that those who have appropriated the theoretical doctrines of Marx and taken over their management will always form a clerical camarilla. Marxism lends itself all too easily to interpretation. Today it is 100 years old, and what do we?
Which society has denied its natural material. Instead of draining rivers, society directs a human stream into a bed of trenches. Instead of dropping seeds from airplanes, it drops incendiary bombs over cities, and through gas warfare the ore is abolished in a new way. Fiat ars, perit mundus, says fascism, and, as Marinetti admits, expects war to supply the artistic gratification of a sense perception that has been changed by technology. This is evidently the consummation of l'art pour l'art, mankind, which in Homer's time was an object of contemplation for the Olympian gods, now is one for itself. Its self-alienation has reached such a degree that it can experience its own destruction as
man. Of all the works of man I like best those which have been used. The copper pots with their dense and flat-end edges, the knives and forks whose wooden handles have been worn away by many hands. Such forms seem to me the noblest. So too the flagstones round old houses trodden by many feet, ground down and with tufts of grass growing between them. These are happy works.